Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Cheers to Jesus on Easter Saturday, cruising down, clearing out all of those in, gotta think, was it considered hell at the time? I know he got all the little kids out of limbo, but it just says Jesus went to the dead, right? And brought them back. Anyway, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, I want to talk about excess fat and obesity and the problem with it. And part of it is because I'm fat, people. This is not news. It's sad because I've been kind of toying with things. I didn't want to limit my calories anymore. I didn't really feel like intermittent fasting anymore. I knew it was a risk. I knew I'd be putting on some weight initially, which I believe is starting to come down, but it's scary. I'm really blessed because all of my numbers are healthy, but that can change on a dime, right? Yeah, can change on a dime. So just want to remind myself on the importance of not padding my organs, getting excess fat off, and not just because it looks great. I mean, I'm already hot. I'm hot at any weight, but it's just not good. But speaking of hot, and I was just outside caring for the animals, so I'm kind of melting. But you know what I was thinking? When I was young, I used to be I've always been on swim team my whole life, and I love it so much. But we had what was called a rough water swim, where you would swim out to like the Channel Islands, which was like a 3-mile swim. For me, because I was younger, it was just like 3/4 of a mile, but in the ocean. And it would get super cold. And so we would take Crisco oil, which is, of course, 100% fat, right? And rub it on ourselves to hold in the heat against the icy ocean. So, of course, fat is designed to do that, but it was never designed to be in excess. It was never designed to pad organs. And God is so brilliant that he already gave the perfect ratio of fat to protein to carbs in any of his food sponsored by God, right? Like fruit and vegetables. So I need to just be reminding myself of that, taking it in, and knowing that as long as I'm breathing, there's hope. Okay? So let's get into it. This is from healthline.com. I like it because they usually have a summary and a bottom line. And of course, I will include it in the description of this video. So common health conditions related to obesity. Type 2 diabetes, praise God, no. Heart disease, no. Stroke, no. Sleep apnea, no. But sometimes with my allergies and everything like that, my husband will say that I'm snoring, which of course is the mildest form, of blocking the importance of getting all of that in. And if I was thinner, it may or may not be the case. We'll have to see. When I'm thin, I'll get back to you. And by thin, I just mean lean and healthy. High blood pressure, no. Liver disease, no. Gallbladder disease, no. Certain cancers, no. I mean, in my youth, I had melanoma removed, but that's a different story. Pregnancy complications, I'm going to say yes. Because of all of the right? The fibroids and the difficulty with conception and all of that. Depression, hi, yes, of course. I always have a low-grade depression. But Jules, you seem so animated. I know. But I'm always fighting it, and I absolutely have had bipolar, which of course was manic depression, my entire probably life, but definitely adult life. So yes to that. Here's how to lower your risk, and here's the takeaway. I'm in. Okay, obesity is a condition in which a person has a harmful amount of body fat or an unhealthy distribution of body fat. So yeah, it depends on where it is on your body. It raises the risk for several serious health complications. Excess body fat puts strain on the bones and organs, and I'm so blessed. I don't have any aches or pains. My knees aren't sore. My ankles don't hurt. Like none of that. Despite being too heavy, but I don't need any of that either. And yet the organs are things I can't see, and I know that that's a problem. It also causes complex changes in hormones. I have to agree with that completely. And metabolism. So yes, it increases inflammation in the body. And I know that to be true. People with obesity have a body mass index of 30 or higher. You can calculate your BMI using an online calculator. You only need to know your height and weight. Of course, those are available. Having a risk factor like obesity doesn't mean that you'll develop the following health problems, but it does increase your chances of developing one or more of them. And here are 10 health risks of obesity and what you can do to prevent and manage them. This is my year, people. I'm getting this weight off once and for all. Number 1, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes occurs when your blood sugar is higher than the normal amount. Over time, this can lead to other health issues like heart disease, nerve damage. My husband has a lot of nerve damage. Stroke, kidney disease. Hi. My kidney numbers are lower than they have been. And it's no surprise it's because I put on weight. I get off all medication, which helps a lot, but getting weight off helps the most. It's less work on the kidneys. And vision problems. If you have obesity, losing just 5 to 7% of your body weight and getting regular moderate exercise may prevent or delay the onset of type 2 diabetes. And I've been in denial about exercise too, I drive a lot. There's a lot of sitting in my day, and I have to be far more intentional about regular exercise. Yes, I'll get my 7,500 steps, which is my average, but I need to push it to 10. I need to make sure I'm on that rebounder every day, and I'm just talking with you guys because you're my peeps in my support group, and I just want to talk about the importance of it. Number 2, heart disease. Heart disease is more prevalent in people with obesity. That's just straight up. Over time, fatty deposits may accumulate in the arteries that supply the heart with blood. The beautiful part is the minute you go plant-based, you get off animal products, you get off milks, these things will resolve, which is so beautiful. I mean, that at least they can be reversed. But sometimes the damage can't be, right? People with obesity have higher than normal blood pressure, low density lipoproteins, cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood sugar, all of which contribute to heart disease. Arteries that become narrow can lead to a heart attack. Blood clots in narrow arteries can result in a stroke. And, just because you're not obese doesn't mean you're not a problem. Again, eating all of that animal product, dead animal carcasses. I've had many of my male friends in their early 50s, late 40s, who ride their bike, exercise, and drop dead on the trail. They could not outrun those bad eating habits, and that's straight up. So yeah, make some choices on that. Stroke and heart disease share many of the same risk factors. Strokes occur when the blood supply to the brain is cut off. So scary. An aneurysm, my gosh. I've had people survive aneurysms, praise God, but many peace out, right? A stroke can cause damage to the brain tissue and result in a range of disabilities, including speech and language impairment, weakened muscles, and changes to thinking and reasoning skills. Which scares me so much. I want my faculties. I want to be able to think. I want to be able to communicate, come on, Juliana. A 2010 review of 25 studies, that's significant, with 2.3 million participants, they ain't playing, found that obesity increased the risk of stroke by 64%. Wow. Sleep apnea, number 4, is a disorder in which someone may momentarily stop breathing during sleep. At one point for my husband, he was stopping breathing 39 times a night. That is not the case anymore, thank God, but it's because he lost a bunch of weight. People who are overweight and living with obesity are at a higher risk of having sleep apnea. This is because they tend to have more fat stored around the neck, around the airways. Help. Around the airways. That's just my asthma, to be fair. I lost my place. Making the airway shrink. A smaller airway can cause snoring and difficulty breathing at night. Losing weight can help decrease the amount of fat in the neck and lower the risk of sleep apnea. I did have a triple chin. I don't know if you guys remember those pictures. High blood pressure. Extra fat tissue in the body requires more oxygen and nutrients. So interesting, right? So tragic. It says your blood Your blood vessels will need to circulate more blood to the extra fat tissue. This means that your heart must work even harder to pump blood around the body, which is why the cleaning by the kidneys has to work harder too, and I know that. The increase in the amount of blood circulating puts extra pressure on the walls of your arteries, and this added pressure is called high blood pressure, hypertension, and over time, high blood pressure can damage your heart and arteries. Number 6, liver disease. People with obesity can develop a liver disease known as fatty liver disease. That used to only really be considered for alcoholics. Not only is it common now, it's common in children. So scary. So what's called non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, I guess, which is NASH for short. This happens when excess fat builds up in the liver. The excess fat can damage the liver or cause scar tissue to grow, known as cirrhosis, of course, the hardening of the liver. And the liver is basically the trash receptacle for the body, right? And if it's not functioning, everything backs up. It's so creepy. They've tested people who they've actually found feces and stuff in what they're vomiting because it's so backed up. Oh, no thank you. Fatty liver disease usually has no symptoms, but it can eventually lead to liver failure. The only way to reverse or manage the disease is to lose weight. That's straight up. Exercise and, of course, avoid drinking alcohol. Number 7, gallbladder disease. My gosh, I mean, left and right, I know people who get their gallbladders out. God made everything with purpose, right? The gallbladder is responsible for storing a substance known as bile and passing it to the small intestine during digestion. Bile helps you digest fats. Obesity increases your risk of developing gallstones, and gallstones occur when the bile builds up and hardens in the gallbladder. People with obesity may have higher levels of cholesterol in their bile or have large gallbladders that don't work well, which can lead to gallstones. Gallstones can be painful and require surgery. Eating a diet high in fiber and healthy fats can help prevent gallstones. Hello? Avoiding refined grains like white rice, bread, and pasta can also help. And of course, the whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead, right? Number 8, so interesting, certain cancers. Because cancer isn't a single disease. Wow. The association between obesity and cancer isn't as clear as other diseases like heart disease or stroke. Still, obesity can increase your risk for certain cancers. I think it's because the more things grow, the more they grow. So as you're getting more obese, you're getting more of everything. So if you have any propensity for cancer, those cells are growing exponentially, you know. Obesity can increase the risk of certain cancers, including breast, colon, gallbladder, pancreatic, kidney, and prostate cancer, as well as cancers of the uterus, cervix, endometrium, and ovaries. So in other words, everything. And again, first step, get off the dead animals and get off of dairy. Dairy is the primary component in female cancers. So all of the uterus, cervix, endometrium, ovary, get off of dairy ASAP. One population-based study estimated that 28,000 new cases of cancer in men and women and 72,000 in women in 2012 were associated with being overweight and having obesity in the United States. Number 9, pregnancy complications. Pregnant women who are overweight or have obesity are more likely to develop insulin resistance, high blood sugar, and high blood pressure. And this can increase the risk of complications during pregnancy and delivery, including gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, needing a cesarean delivery, of course, a C-section, blood clots, heavier bleeding than normal after delivery, premature birth, miscarriage, stillbirth, and defects of the brain and the spinal cord. Wow, wow, wow. And I wasn't thinking about that, though it's not a single one on that list that I don't know an obese woman who experienced one or more. But I was thinking just towards conception, the difficulty people are having even conceiving, right? Because of obesity and the effect on the body and the imbalance of hormones. And again, the fibroids and just all of that, right? I used to have to bring 3 pairs of clothes and wear like 3 tampons and 2 pads. It was such a wreck, and it was all hormone related from obesity. In one study, over 60% of women with a BMI of 40 or greater, when they got pregnant, ended up having one of these complications, I'm sure. If you're overweight or have obesity and are thinking about having a baby, you may want a weight management plan to avoid the above health risk. And I can't think of the number of women who had so much trouble when they lost weight, conceived almost right away. Tell your doctor about physical activity that you can safely do during pregnancy. Okay, number 10, depression. Many people affected by obesity experience depression. Some studies have found a strong correlation between obesity and major depressive disorder. People affected by obesity, and I think part of it is because it's just so uncomfortable and such a bummer to be limited or feel trapped in your body that inevitably it leads to depression. But again, so much of this comes back to the hormone imbalance. May often experience discrimination based on their body size, even just having to pay more for the sizes. And I get it, it's more material, but there's so many things like that. Like, where can you sit in a restaurant, or are the chairs too close? Do you have to get a belt extender on a plane? And I get it. People are going to say, well, that's their fault. Get them to lose weight. At one time it was people's fault, but I think because our food is designed to make us addicted and obese, it's not only that person's fault anymore, Over time, this can lead to feelings of sadness or lack of self-worth. Today, many advocacy groups, such as the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, NAFA, have you ever heard of that? National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, are working to eliminate discrimination based on body size. These organizations provide opportunities to get involved in fighting against this discrimination. It says if you have obesity, have it. So not if you're obese, but if you have obesity, like it's something that's come upon you. So interesting, right? And are experiencing symptoms of depression, ask your doctor for a referral to a mental health counselor. And that's fair enough. How to lower your risk. Losing as little as 5%. This is the good news. Losing as little as 5%. So if it's 100 pounds over, you just need to lose 5 pounds. Amazing, right? Losing as little as 5% of your body weight can lower your risk for several of these health conditions, including heart disease and type 2 diabetes. A combination of diet and exercise can help you lose the weight slowly over time. There's no need to make drastic changes to your lifestyle. The key is to be consistent and to continue to make healthy choices. I can't think, and I'm trying so hard not to mention that I've turned this off 10 times because I'm having a reaction to something, but the number of times people have decided to get a get their stomach tied, I don't know, get a sleeve, get whatever, and weren't ready for it mentally. So it was just a total nightmare for them. A combination of diet and exercise can help you lose the weight. For exercise, aim for 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic activity. This can include a brisk walk. Just 30 minutes of walking per day will help you to meet this goal. Once you've gotten the hang of it, try increasing your exercise to 300 minutes per week. Also, try to include strengthening activities like push-ups or sit-ups into the routine at least twice a week. A few ways to eat healthier include fill half your plate with vegetables, replace unrefined grains like white pasta, bread and rice with whole grains like wheat bread, brown rice, or oatmeal. Eat lean sources of protein. That's a no for me, but chicken, seafood, beans, and soy. Cut out fried foods, fast foods, and sugary snacks, and they're not giving options for those. Avoid sugary drinks like sodas and juice, and avoid alcohol. And I'm so glad they didn't say use artificial sweeteners. I'm so glad. I will do sugar all day long over the poison of artificial sweeteners. Ask your doctor if you're a good candidate for weight loss surgery or medications. These treatments can help you lose weight more quickly, but still require a commitment to the above lifestyle changes. And the takeaway: obesity can impact both your physical health and your mental health. You may be unsure of where to begin, but taking steps now to manage your health can prevent you from complications like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Talk to your doctor about exercising more, eating a healthier diet, and seeing a therapist if needed, or other treatment methods. I am having such bad allergies as we speak. I think I did a couple of things. I fed the horses, and I didn't clean myself well enough from the hay. I'm allergic to grass. I was petting my dogs. I'm allergic to dander. Ugh. Hey, I made it to the end. But oh my goodness, I gotta go take care of myself. All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if I helped you, if you learned anything more about, the problems with obesity. Was there any aha moments in here? I'd love to know. Know that I'm praying for you regarding Easter. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.